Super Mario Land's greatest legacy seems to come from the fact that it doesn't have much of one. There's a pride that comes from being among the blackest sheep in the series, this bizarre sojourn into a kingdom that hasn't been revisited in over 30 years. The enemies you encounter are familiar to those from the NES, but with just enough of a twist to make them noteworthy. The trusty Fire Flower has been replaced with the trickier Super Flower, a power-up that laid dormant until being revived as DLC in Super Mario Maker 2. Even the core gameplay isn't always what's expected, with a pair of shoot-em-ups providing a unique but decidedly non-Mario experience. For as many copies as it's sold, you'd think there'd be more references to this title in the 35-odd years since its release. Instead, while Daisy may be a mainstay in the series now, almost everything else has been tossed to the wayside. From its conception, Super Mario Land was an eccentric experiment, one that its creators elected to follow up with something a bit more conventional. Enter Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. With the developers now a bit more familiar with the Game Boy, and with a better idea as to how Mario's skill set should be implemented, it all looks and feels more like what players would expect. Mario not only regains his fireballs, but he's maintained his spin jump from his Super NES adventure. Goombas and Koopa Troopas are more immediately discernible, the latter's shells now functioning as one might expect. The one new power-up, a carrot, allows for controlled landing and aerial movement, a distinct but similar ability to the Super Leaf and Cape Feather. Still, it captures the essence of a land-style game all the same in terms of its level design. Mario rides a bubble to the moon. Mario shrinks down and fights ants in a suburban home. Mario explores a gigantic automaton modeled after him. This fantastic element helps Land 2 keep itself unique in the minds of players, all building up to the climactic battle with the villainous Wario, who so rudely stole his rival's castle while Mario was off fighting aliens. The gauntlet of Wario's castle is infamous for its unforgiving nature. No checkpoints, unique obstacles in every room, and scant few power-ups to help make the trip any easier. But when you finally get to the big bad, he's a bit of a goof, isn't he? This manic, grinning weirdo who tries to emulate Mario's abilities, but can't quite get them right. A few bops to the head and he shrinks down like you would, but without any dignity intact. The adventure ends, but with it comes a curious itch to see what direction the series would take next. What would need to be tweaked to make a prospective Super Mario Land 3 surpass this outing? As it turned out, the first step would be turning the M into a W. You can tell what kind of game Wario Land Super Mario Land 3 is going to be from the menu alone. Mario drops down through a warp pipe unceremoniously. Wario charges in through the side of the wall. That dichotomy defines Wario's playstyle, a rough and tumble brawler who's more adept at smashing his foes away rather than just stomping on them. When I call Wario Land parodic, a big part of it comes from Wario's inversion of past gameplay elements. Mario breaks blocks by spinning. Wario smashes them with his posterior after growing pole horns. Mario shoots fireballs. Wario's dragon hat spews a continuous jet of flame. Mario's rabbit ears help with precise vertical movement. Wario's lets him blindly charge forward to deliver a jetpack-boosted bruising. There's an irony, then, that comes from what Wario loses compared to his nemesis. His ability to pick up enemies makes sense given his nature, but having him gently land on them to just flip them over is proof positive that one should never skip leg day. When he's hit by an enemy, his small form is particularly powerless, to the point that a boss had to be given a fail-safe exit if he lands a punch. It all leads up to Wario's other guiding principle, to get as much money as humanly possible. Sure, you collect money in the previous 2 land games. 100 coins gets you a 1-up in the original, and 2 lets you gamble for extra lives and power-ups. But 2 lets you hold up to 999 coins at any time. Wario Land lets you hold up to 999 coins per stage. Additionally, Wario proves money is power with his ability to summon a coin that can instantly defeat most enemies, not to mention activate checkpoints and open the exit of a stage. By the time you see your coin total at the end of a level and realize another 2 digits have been added on, it all starts to click as to what your real goal is. The perfection of Wario Land as Parody comes with the structure of the game rather than just its protagonist. Mario can breeze through levels without slowing down if you're good enough, But Wario all but insists you take things slower to get as much treasure as possible. You're still moving from point A to point B, and there's even a princess to save once it's all said and done. But by flipping not just how, but why the game is played on its head, it adds the finishing touch. Unfortunately, it might have been almost too effective of an experiment. By the time Wario Land 2 came out, the transition had turned from parody to full spin-off. Wario's money-hungry nature paved the way for more coins, more treasure, and more ways to navigate the world. That's not a bad thing by any means, as I and many other fans of the series will attest. But going back and revisiting those games, there's still a magic from Wario Land that isn't able to be captured by its successors. Perhaps it's watching the evolution of the Super Mario Land trilogy until it becomes something fully original. Perhaps it's the creativity that comes from working within the limitations of the Game Boy, the same approach that would give us the claustrophobic Metroid 2 Return of Samus, and the surreal The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Perhaps it's just seeing how many comparisons could be drawn from 2 to 3, and seeing Nintendo's willingness to be in on the joke. Wario hasn't gotten his own adventure for 18 years, and it's possible he never will again. But for his first proper outing, he made an unforgettable impression, literally and figuratively. In an age where parody is getting harder to parse from reality, Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3 stands out as an example of what to do, how to do it well, and even how to top the source material in a few ways. Greed isn't just good, it's great.